Welcome back for another challenge video for the Another Life mission in Whittleton Creek. This one will cover everybody's favorite elderly assistance and every other challenge that goes along with that we have an opportunity for along the way. So we'll cover Monster Cookie, Sneezing Suspicion, Finger on the Pulse, Tea Time, Death from Below, Memorabilia, Tasteless, Traceless, Someone Could Hurt Themselves, Become the Nurse, Mission Story An Apple a Day, Mission Story Whack-A-Mole, Early Birdy, Elderly Assistance, and Mission Story No Smoking Area. I'm going to start off in the construction area and bring a basic loadout. First thing I'm going to do when we get up out of our chairs, grab that wrench for an easy knockout tool. We'll grab this Muffin. Let's run all the way down here by the creek shed across the street where the statue is. We'll reveal our first mission story.
Have you seen that Janice's oddball nurse is added again?
Oh yeah, the bird guy.
I think he comes early, just to chat with the birds. Spends more time with them than he does with Janice.
So Janice has an appointment with him.
Once we have that, we can run across the street. Behind the shed is where the nurse is hanging out feeding some ducks. You'll have to cause the ducks to fly away, and if you get here early enough right after you start the mission, the ducks should be there, but be warned that if you show up later in the mission, the ducks might not be there. If they don't spawn in, you can just make a save and instantly reload that save, and the ducks should be there. But once we get them to fly away, that will get us the Early Birdie challenge. And then we'll distract the nurse behind the shed. We'll knock him out. I'm going to toss his body inside the shed. I left him in the bush one time and somebody ended up finding it, so we're just doing this to be safe. Toss him in the box and take his disguise. That will get us the Become the Nurse challenge. Now we're going to head to the backyard where these two garbage men are hanging out on the deck, where all these toys are. You can grab a whole bunch of random crap that we can plug the mole holes with later on. But the two guys that are on the deck talking right now will reveal our next mission story for the smoking. And then there's a pack of cigarettes sitting right on top of the bushes here. We'll grab that, hop the fence into Janice's backyard, and just run right inside. We'll go to wherever he might be, and that will trigger the whole entire routine of going through his health check. And I've set this up in a way where we do the Whack-A-Mole mission story last, because as you know, once that's finished, he will go out in the back and take a nap in his chair for a good solid 3 minutes. And sometimes if you do that before he's gone to Helen's house, he'll go out and nap multiple times and make loops around and smoke cigarettes everywhere before he finally goes to Helen's house. So I've done this in an order that should keep the waiting time to a minimum.
He's an insufferable bore with a room temperature IQ. But if you're the new guy, you'll need to be on time. I have a busy schedule, you know.
We'll follow him upstairs to his room, and part of this mission story, once we get into his room, his bodyguard will want to go do a background check on us, and we do not want that to happen.
A refined mix of cultures. You look almost like an artist's rendering of the perfect man. I knew a man once. A doctor. He would have found you quite interesting.
So we're just going to pop over into the room with the gramophone over here, toss a coin when his guard is close enough.
Huh? Go see what that was.
Roger that.
We'll knock him out and hide his body in the closet. That way, no background check, no time limit, nothing to worry about while we're doing the health check. Once we're in his room, we can go ahead and place the pack of cigarettes on the table. That will actually stack the next trigger behind the trigger that we have for the health check right now. So because he's in the health check routine, he sees the cigarettes. So right when we're done with the health check, that'll be instantly what he goes and does next, is smoke a cigarette. Wait for him to get through his dialogue, then we can hit the prompt to escort him to the bathroom.
Let's go then.
Don't work yourself into the ground.
And I would just keep going through all the little side rooms out in the hallway with all those guards. It gets a little glitchy and finicky. There's imaginary lines where you'll be in a trespassing area for a microsecond. Then the guards get all pissed off at you, and who wants that? We just have to wait for him to climb up on this table. And as far as I have figured out, the only things that need to happen before he goes to Helen's house are his health check and the gramophone. He will smoke a cigarette in between those two things, so maybe that has something to do with it, but those 2 or 3 things will get him to go to Helen's house instantly after that. Well, once we interact with the button prompt here, that will finish off our mission story.
You know, you remind me of someone I met.
At any point during this health check, you can go ahead and make a save.
A young
Once we've done that, hit the button prompt to smother him with a pillow. And that will get us the Finger on the Pulse challenge.
End to Janus. Death feels like an easy way out for a man like him.
Now we can go ahead and load up our save.
A young boy.
And then we'll just have to kind of sit here and listen to him ramble on like old men do.
Boy. Ah, the boy. I remember his eyes better than anything. Ice cold, defiant. Maybe it was the nature of the project itself that led me to dislike him, but I felt nothing but disappointment when I looked at him. What a waste of resources.
Project? What project?
It was all based on one madman's pipe dream. Create an army of super soldiers through genetic manipulation. Somehow, he had managed to impress my superiors, and they had provided him with effectively endless resources to be wasted on foolish ideas and experiments. The project was idiotic. The subjects were erratic, unreliable. Why build an army of reckless super soldiers when a handful of well-placed spies can do so much more for your cause?
What became of him?
Oh, I don't know. Dead, I assume. In the end, we had his mind wiped. All the boys underwent the same treatment. I didn't follow the subsequent cleanup process, but from what I understand, the doctor and everyone else associated with the project is long gone.
I see.
Yes, well, enough reminiscing. Are you about done here?
Almost done. Yes.
Once he gets off the table, he has 2 or 3 more lines of dialogue that he will go through.
You have strong hands. Last time I met someone with a firm grip like that was back in Minsk in '78. Olga had hands the size of a Kamchatka brown bear's paws. I miss her sometimes. Her command.
Right when he's done, he'll start flipping out about the cigarettes that he saw when we placed them on the table in his room earlier.
Ah, there you are.
There's 1 out of 7 checkmarked for our elderly assistance challenge so far. And while he's walking over here, I'll just kind of list off everything that needs to happen for the elderly assistance challenge. He needs the health check, smoke a cigarette, turn on the gramophone, eat a muffin, drink some tea, go to Helen West's house, and have all the mole holes in his backyard plugged.
Off to torture some poor soul, are we?
So right when he grabs a cigarette from that cigarette pack, that will trigger 2 out of 7. He doesn't actually need to smoke it, but right now we're going to make a save. We'll wait for him to light up that cigarette and shoot that tank twice.
As old Trotsky
One to get it to
said,
leak, the other one to
just
get it
as
to
a
blow
lamp
up.
before going out shoots up in
All there is left to do now.
That will finish off our mission story and get us the sneezing suspicion, explosive potential, and someone could hurt themselves challenges.
Death feels like an easy way out for a man like him.
An explosion.
Still.
Safety's off. Move, move.
All right.
We are close now, 47.
Please leave the area and don't panic.
What's that, Command? Okay, continuing search.
Now let's go ahead and load up our save. We can run right out of this room. We're going to go back through the bathroom and all the little side rooms just because the hallway is so finicky and glitchy with all those guards, but we're going to turn on the gramophone. That will force him to come in here and listen to that. And he does the same thing every time when he's done listening to the gramophone. He goes downstairs and stands in front of the sculpture on his desk downstairs that we kill him with for the Memorabilia challenge. So while we're waiting for him to go through all that, let's go ahead and distract one of the guards into the little study room here, and we'll knock him out and take his disguise.
Come in.
Right there you can see we got check mark number 3 out of 7 for elderly assistance once he listened to the gramophone. And like I said, no matter what's happening, he will always go downstairs to look at the little Soviet sculpture that's on his desk after he listens to the gramophone. But right when he's done down here, he will go back upstairs through the inside basement door, and he will instantly head out the front door to go to Helen West's house.
So, that piece of music sparked a memory in Janus's mind, and we now have confirmation that he and the Constant will be meeting each other soon. Great work, 47.
Wait for him to move at his snail's pace to get downstairs. We already came down here and knocked out the guard and hit his body before Janus came down here. Once he's in front of that sculpture, let's go ahead and make a save. Now we can smash his face into that thing. Get the Memorabilia challenge.
Finally, an end to Janus. Death feels like an easy way out for a man like him.
And now we can go ahead and load up our save. We're just going to get out of the basement and run towards the front of Janus' house. There will be a gardener and one of the police deputies that will reveal our whack-a-mole mission story. We'll get that started while Janus is just about to head to Helen West's house. And once he's at Helen's, they'll go upstairs and have quite a lengthy conversation, so we have plenty of time.
In this poor old man's backyard.
Calm down, Demolition Man.
One of Janus's gardeners had...
Once that's revealed, we'll just kind of hang out for a little while. The gardener will end up going across the street where the truck and the rake and all that kind of stuff is, and the police deputy goes down to the road construction area to put the explosive in a black box that he confiscated from the gardener.
Look it up on YouTube.
Sir, if the American police force looked to YouTube as guiding principle for standard procedure, I'm pretty sure civilization would have collapsed a long time ago.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Damn donut-eating dorks.
But once the gardener's over here by this yellow truck, we can go ahead and knock him out.
Oh, sure.
Don't worry, everybody in front of the houses across the street are far enough away they don't see it. We'll drag him into the bushes and take his disguise. He also drops a key to Janus' house. Now we'll run to the end of the road where the road construction is going on.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't let
Go
you through,
around the
okay?
little barriers here, and
Through
we'll
the
just
area.
kind of hang out outside of this bush. If you walk through the bush, you'll make noise and distract the construction worker there. Once he's done here and turns his back, we can go to that black box and grab the explosive. And since gardeners are allowed in Helen West's house, we're just going to go up there so we can watch and listen to them have their little conversation about Helen West poisoning somebody. Let's go in through her basement. She actually has a bottle of poison pills down here on one of her tables. We'll take that and use that to poison Janus with the muffin and the tea later on.
What are you doing down here?
Hey, wouldn't you like to come out?
And there we got a surprise challenge that I didn't even know we were going to get just for being in Helen West's house when somebody else rings the doorbell. That will get us the Ring Whittleton Creek challenge. And I'm not fast forwarding this video at any point, at any time, just so anybody watching this can go through the whole entire thing step by step, moment by moment, right along with the video. We have so much waiting time to go through before they actually start having their conversation.
A robe for Janus. What could he need that for?
Bust into Helen's room. She actually has a hot pink pistol right under her pillow.
It's so good to see you over here, my darling.
How are you feeling?
Better. The days have their ups and downs, as I'm sure you know. Nolan Cassidy is a, well, excuse me, but a real pain in the ass.
I never did understand why you needed to have so much security around you, Janus.
It's been like that all my adult life, so it's hardly something I notice anymore. But this new Herald, well, he's no Schmidt.
You liked Schmidt, didn't you?
I did. But I want you to know that I hold no grudge. I can't say I fully understand why you... Well, I've done much worse. Much worse.
Janus, It was an accident. I want you to know that. He wasn't supposed to die.
I believe you, Helen. You went through things while away that no person of your fragile nature should have to go through. Experiences like that. Should not be stirred, and which, if brought to the surface, cannot easily be pushed under again.
I think it's always been there. The urge. My brother had pets. They would inexplicably die, and Mother would be furious with him. I enjoyed that. At university, I would spike the boys' drinks just to see what happened. One of them fell from a window and broke his back, but I got it under control until... well...
You know, Helen, this is good. I feel like this opens a new part of our relationship. There are things I know about drugs, poisons, chemicals I could teach you, if you wish to learn. But I think that is for another time.
But right when he says he's tired and he's glad they talked, that will mean that he's about to head back home. So let's go right over back to his house along with him. Now you see that their conversation was done. That check mark 4 out of 7 for elderly assistance. We're going to head to the backyard, talk to the guard that's in the yellow shirt here. We're only going to talk to him this first time for right now, just to get instructions, and then we'll start running around and plugging all the holes. I like to plug the very first closest one that he stands by first with the bomb. That way we can blow him up a lot earlier in the routine later on. Plug all the other holes with whatever random objects you have on you at the time. There are 6 holes in total that we have to plug. Once we have all those plugged, let's not talk to the guard in the yellow shirt quite yet, because that will trigger him to check the holes and then call Janus out here, but we don't want Janus out here until he's gone through everything else in the list first. So in the meantime, let's run back across the street where we drug our gardener into the bushes. We'll grab our Janus bodyguard disguise once again. And the first thing he's going to do when he gets back from Helen West's house is go to the window by the front door and start screaming through the window at the one guard that's on the front step. Once he's done with that, he'll go back upstairs to smoke another cigarette like smokers do. After he's done with that cigarette, he'll come down here and sit on the couch like he usually does when he's about to make a phone call to Helen West, but he won't actually make that phone call since he's already been over there. So he'll just sit on the couch for a little bit.
Hey! Any sign of that Lafayette guy yet? Never mind.
But while he's going through all that, we can get prepped in the kitchen for the next 2 steps. Since we used our muffin that we had to plug one of the holes outside, there's a muffin actually right here on the railing of his back porch. We'll place that on the silver platter. Then we'll pour the tea. We can watch the glass turn into a fancy little teacup when it's done. And now we'll just kind of hang out and wait for him to get down here again. We'll watch him sit on the couch in silence for a little bit. And then right when you see him get up off the couch or start getting up off the couch, we'll go ahead and make a save. That ensures that he's far enough away to not see us poisoning either the muffin or the tea while he's on his way over here. So let's go ahead and poison the muffin first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once he eats that and dies from the poison, that will get us the Tasteless, Traceless, and Monster Cookie challenges.
Death feels like an easy way out for a man like him. Still. We are close now, 47.
Now let's go ahead and load up our save. We'll poison the teacup this time. And since we already placed the muffin on the platter, we can't actually take the muffin back off the platter for some weird reason. So we'll have to wait for him to eat the muffin before he finally goes for the tea.
Yes. Oh, tea. Just what I needed.
But once he drinks that and dies from the poison, that will get us the tea time challenge.
Finally, an end to Janus. Death feels like an easy way out for a man like him.
Now we can go ahead and load up our save one last time. And we'll just leave him alone to eat his muffin and drink his tea without any poison this time. We'll run back across the street to the bush where we hid the body of the gardener. We'll grab the gardener disguise once more. Now we can head to Janus' backyard once again. We'll get ready to talk to the guard that's in the yellow shirt. Don't interact with that guard until Janus has taken a drink of his tea. So we can see him eating the muffin right now. That will check off 5 of 7. Now he's finally going for the teacup. Once you see him actually take a drink, we can go ahead and talk to the guard in the yellow shirt.
I'm done.
Great. Let me have a quick look.
You see once he drank his tea, that checked off number 6 out of 7. But this guard will come over and check out our work in one of the holes, and then he will call for Janus to come out here and check the work himself.
Expect it for himself. Hey, tell Mr. Janus the molehills have been fixed.
All right. Janus
Once
should be
that's
here to
finished,
inspect
that
the
will
work
finish
site
off our
before
whack-a-mole mission story.
Mr. Janus. So the holes are filled, huh?
Yes, Mr. Janus. The gardener took a bit of an unorthodox approach, but they do look filled to me.
Well, I think I'll be the judge of that myself. Thank you very much.
Then he'll come over here and check the hole that's right in front of us first.
Once I controlled the whole world.
Now I can't even control my own.
You can blow it up with
backyard.
him standing that far away, but it might actually blow up the guard along with him, so let's just wait for him to walk away. Even though you're not going to get Silent Assassin, I try to keep collateral damage to a minimum. Let's go ahead and make a save right when he's about to walk over that hole. We'll trigger our explosive. And that will get us the Death from Below challenge.
Death feels like an easy way out for a man like him. Still.
Load up our save one more time. And now we'll just let him go around the loop and check all of the different holes.
Beautiful work. The pests will soon be gone, and then I can get back to planting my vegetables. This looks good. Seems like I've been forced to deal with moles my entire life. Moles in my organization, moles I employed, and now these little pests.
Oh, yeah. So, the other day I accidentally asked Janus about that urn in the basement. Big mistake.
Haven't you learned anything yet? How long did he talk for?
Once he finally gets around to the last hole on the other side of the shed, that will trigger our Elderly Assistance challenge.
Man, that tune kicked off some old memories and some long-ass stories. He dragged me
I'm
out
just
of the
going to keep
basement and showed me
recording
all
for a
his
little bit
memories.
longer so we can see his reaction to having his best day ever.
Spark some of those old stories, 47. Who knows what secrets Janus might reveal?
Look at that happy little old man.
Well, I've learned my lesson, that's for sure.
You know, he's worked so hard, he can finally enjoy his nap.
Well, we certainly put an end to that little invasion, didn't we? The sun is nice today. I think I'll take a little nap out here. Leave me. I want some peace and quiet.
And that will finally be everything that we have to cover for Elderly Assistance and everything else that goes along with it. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, requests, or comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you liked this video and found this video helpful, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoy the content that I produce and want to keep up with any future videos or projects that I'm working on, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.